Hey, good morning, everybody. How you all doing? This is your boy, Rob Thomas Jr., and this is Behind the News. Oh yeah, today is September 4th, Friday, 2020, here in Shreveport, Louisiana, and it's just one of them things, man. It's almost 3-something. Let me see what time it is. It's 3:30 in the morning, man. I can't sleep. I like to first of all give praises to the Creator for allowing me to see another year of life. I celebrated my 50th birthday yesterday. That's crazy. 50 years old on this planet, a half a century. And even if I read this, the things that we're seeing right now in America and around the world, even if I read it in a comic book, or even if I read it in an encyclopedia, I would not believe the things that we're seeing. You would think with all the police killings of black men here in America that the police would be more cautious when dealing with black people. But since Jacob Blake up there in Wisconsin got shot 7 times in the back, we've had 2 more videos to surface. One was back in March, where I think the guy in Rochester, New York, I forget his name. I got it copied, but a guy in Rochester, New York, was basically murdered by the police. And then just this week, out in Los Angeles, you had another black man to be murdered by the police. If the police want us to go along with Blue Lives Matter, y'all need to stop killing black folks. Just plain and simple, man. Why is it that the police in America have to have special sensitivity training when it comes to every other race? I mean, when it comes to black people. But they know not to kill people from other races. Y'all forgive me, let me say it again. The police in America, when it comes to killing black people, they have to go to special classes, sensitivity training, to keep from killing black folks or to learn how not to kill black folks. But they don't have to go to these classes when it comes to white folks or Jews, especially the Jews, Asians or whatever. Not saying that these other groups do not get killed by the police, because if you look at the statistics per capita, the police are killing more white people. But white people are able to approach the police with a gun. Did y'all see what happened to the little Kyle Red Riding Hood or Rittenhouse? This dude was able to shoot 3 people, then walk up to the police, and the police were basically telling him, move back. We finna go over there and get these niggas. Think about this. When you look at the video, this boy had just shot 3 people. He's walking to the police with his hands up, and with his rifle draped around his body, and the police basically gave him a pass. But Negroes are getting murdered for having a fingernail file in their possession. The latest murder of a black man here in America was the brother. Oh man, I gotta tag his name. I got his name somewhere in my clipboard. And when I do this video, because after I finish this video, I'm gonna upload it to the YouTube channel. And the names of the 2 black men that we're seeing that recently have surfaced as being murdered by the police, their names will be on our YouTube channel. But again, in Los Angeles, they're saying the brother was riding a bicycle. He got into an altercation with the police. Now, black people. Now, I'm gonna keep this real. One of the reasons why my page is heavily censored is because I believe in speaking on the facts and the truth. And when you stop and look at it, a lot of I was told the other day, man, a lot of people love you, but just as many people hate you. Why do people hate me? Like Paul, the Apostle Paul in the Bible said, do I become your enemy because I speak the truth? Just because I'm telling the truth, is that why you hate me? Black people want me to continue the race baiting and the hatred that's being spewed out by our so-called leaders. I mean, come on, if you think Al Sharpton, Jesse Johnson, Benjamin Crump, and all these other people are leaders as black people, you're missing the point. Literally, these cats don't give a fuck about black people. They all they care about is the money. And think about this. Al Sharpton spoke at George Floyd's funeral. How much did George Floyd's parents and his family have to pay Al Sharpton to come and speak at that funeral? You got to realize, man, that we as black people, we don't have leaders that we choose organically. Our leaders are given to us by the system that y'all say you hate. So, I don't know why I did this video, man, really because I couldn't sleep. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, man, and, you know, I just celebrated my birthday. Going to celebrate a little bit more with my brother and my nephews and my cousin DeMarcus tomorrow. But, I mean, today, rather, a little bit later today. But I had to put this out there because, really, we're being censored heavily here at The Real News Behind the News. Terry Dose, he got to go home, then got arrested the next day. Who's that you're mentioning, Brother Terry? Tell me who's that you're mentioning. Is that the guy in New York? Because the guy in New York that got murdered by the police, he was basically a mental illness type patient. He was on his way to see his brother in New York. Well, make a long story short, he went to his brother's house, finally got to his brother's house. He was arrested one day, then they let him go. He left his brother's house. Now, when you see the video, you see him with a spit mask over his face. He's sitting down in the middle of the street, butt naked. Now, let me give y'all some real game. They're saying what actually killed him wasn't the mask. It was when the police officers had him face down on the ground and they put their knees in his back. This is why I believe, and I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. It's going to be one of them cases again where I say I told you so. This is why those cops in the George Floyd situation are not going to first face serious murder charges. They might, one or two of them might get manslaughter, but you got to realize what killed George Floyd was not the knee to the neck. It was when they put, one officer had his knee on the neck and the other two officers came behind him and put their knees on his back. All right, we're going to talk about the white kid in a minute, Brother Terry, because black folks ain't going to like this shit when I tell them, but the white boy going to beat the charge. The white boy is going to beat the charge. And Negroes are running around here creating all kind of commotion behind a white boy that shot 3 other white people. One of the white people that Kyle Rittenhouse shot was finna shoot him. The white boy gonna beat the charge, man, on self-defense. Yeah, he shot 3 people and walked past the cops. But when you look at all the videos, you got to realize what's going to go down in a court of law. My emotions and my opinion doesn't mean nothing. No offense, but your emotions, your opinions don't mean nothing. It's all about the facts and what they're going to come up with in a court of law. In a court of law, they're going to look at all these videos, because keep in mind, there was over 12 videos shot. In each one of them videos, you saw Kyle Red Riding Hood running from a crowd, a hostile crowd of Antifa members. Keep in mind, he wasn't being chased by no black folks. He was being chased by white people. Kyle Rittenhouse in the head. Then as you go and see the other videos when he was running down the street with the gun and you seen the people running behind him. Do y'all realize that according to the videos that were shot, and all the evidence coming from those videos, that little white boy gonna beat that charge on self-defense. Now they might get him on a minor illegally possessing a weapon, but the truth is what it is. That little boy Kyle what's his name? Rittenhouse. I just call him Kyle Red Riding Hood for time's sake. We're gonna say Kyle Red Riding Hood is gonna beat those charges. The officers in the George Floyd case probably will beat those charges. Most likely, if anything, 1 or 2 of them might be brought up on involuntary manslaughter charges, but there's not going to be no murder charges. You know, in the case of Breonna Taylor, you got to go back and look at how the law is set up. The law is going to allow those police officers to beat that charge. Why do you think there have not been charges filed? Because they don't know what charges to file. A warrant was issued to go into that house because they thought that somebody who they was looking for, now we're talking about Breonna Taylor case, somebody that they thought they was looking for was alleged to be in that house, even though he had been arrested. When the police kicked that door in and her boyfriend started shooting, that took everything to a whole nother level. So the police, in a sense, both parties, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend and the police, in a sense, can claim self-defense. It's crazy. But we as black people, man, what we got to stop doing is being led by our emotions. And understand that we're dealing with a system of law that was not set up for us in the first place. Keep in mind, when they wrote this Constitution saying that all men are created equal, we were we were considered as animals. We were on the auction blocks next to animals, horses, pigs, cows, being auctioned off like animals and property. So we know that the legal system here in America was not set up for us. So why are we expecting justice from a system that only fucks over just us? We're not going to get any kind of justice in these situations. Leads me to my next subject, all the violence and protests here in America. Now, it's been said, one of the famous quotes I like to quote, I think it was Kennedy who said, those who make peaceful protests impossible make violent protests a reality. This is why you're seeing the violence going on around in America the way you're seeing it. But let's keep in mind, black people. I said this on another video. We have, good morning, Miss Lisa. How you doing? We as black people, they were chasing Kyle because he shot someone near a gas station. The video we see is when he attacked and shot the other two. No, there's a video where he shot. The video where the first dude that got shot, that video is out there online, my brother. That video is out there online where they were chasing him. The dude got shot, that got shot in the head, the first dude that he shot, threw a Molotov cocktail at the little white boy. The little white boy, if you look at all the videos, he was constantly running from aggressors. Now let's get off that. Let's talk about who are the aggressors. And again, let me go back to it. When I keep telling black people, you cannot allow any and everybody to join your protest. Because the 3 white people that got shot up there in Kenosha, Wisconsin, they were members of Antifa. Did you see the one video? When the white boy first got shot, when the one where the white boy got shot in the head, the first video, the first person he shot, there were people, the person who was recording the video let you know who was chasing the little white boy. It was Antifa. Black people, get Antifa the fuck away from your protests, because they are nothing more than paid agitators. Why is it that in all these Black Lives Matter rallies and protests, you see more white people than you do black people? Black people are protesting peacefully and responsibly. But it's when these white folks come in, like Antifa, the LGBTQ community. That's really what Black Lives Matter is all about, LGBTQ. But you got all these other groups that's subverting the protests, the peaceful protests that black people are participating in. So I did a video on YouTube, and when I say you got to be careful, everybody that they say your friend, you can't let them get in, because these white folks are the ones that's stationing bricks out in strategic locations. Who is it that when you see busting windows to start the looting of these businesses? It's white folks. We're sitting around here thinking that these white folks really give a fuck about us when they don't. They're paid to be out there. Everybody's talking about little Kyle Red Riding Hood should not have been there. But the 3 dudes that got shot did not live in Kenosha, Wisconsin either. They were from surrounding areas. They were paid to be there. Let's go back and look at all the evidence. In the first video, when the first person got shot, they were chasing him, and it looked like he went to a service station, like you said, brother Terry. He went to the service station, but if you look at that video, he was being pursued. Keeping shit real, man. We're not finna sit up here and play no act like this shit here. We're not gonna sit up here and play no games and just go with the mainstream media narrative or the narrative that black folks want us to go with. We gonna tell the truth. That white boy gonna beat the charges, because when you look at it, in every video where somebody got shot, he was being pursued by aggressors. So all he gonna face is an illegal carry of weapons charges. He's not finna do no time. The police officers in, like I say, Breonna Taylor's situation, as tragic as it is, they're not gonna do no time, because the boyfriend started shooting. Even though they were dead wrong when they kicked that man, kicked the door in, he had every right to shoot at them. But by the shots being fired now, you take it to a whole nother different level. In George Floyd, the officer who had his knee on the neck probably is not going to get any charges, but it's going to be the 2 officers who had their knees on his back. What's the game? What's the end game? The end game is this. I was saying this about a month and a half ago. Remember when we was here in Shreveport, and you had the black people protesting the monument, wanting to get the monument taken down. And then you had the white people across the street. Well, black people didn't know at that time that the white people had snipers. But I kept telling you, you're getting to a point now where you got protests on both sides, and you got armed protesters on both sides. Somebody is finna start be some killing. And just like we always right. I mean, we ain't gonna say we always right, but once again, we was right, because here we are 2 months later, and you done got 2 murders now behind these protests. More than that, really. You done had a lot of violent altercation, but you done had 1 Trump supporter to get killed up in Portland, and then you had 3 members of Antifa to get killed in Kenosha, Wisconsin. These protests are not going to get any peaceful, y'all. They're not going to get peaceful. It's the beginning of the race war that they have been trying to push up. Because, see, this is what the end game is, Brother Terry. Let me show you what the end game is. The media, ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, Bloomberg, these motherfuckers acting like they just now realizing that there is police brutality. Come on now. These motherfuckers showing you images of black people being murdered by the police constantly. Why they don't show you the images of white people getting murdered by the police? Because they cannot generate hate and anger. The media pushes their own narrative, right, Miss Lisa? They're pushing a narrative to show us as savages. Notice when you see on the news the looting and the rioting, all they show you is black people running in and out the store, but they don't never show you the white people who started busting the windows. They don't show you the white agitators. They don't show you that part. But they just show you black people. Now, by they're showing just black people doing all the looting and rioting, guess what that makes Donald Trump supporters feel like? We got to go out there and do something about these niggas. You see what I'm saying? So they're showing us as savages on the news with the objective of getting the right-wing militias, the Ku Klux Klan, and all these racist groups to come out and counter-protest. Now you got 2 groups protesting each other, and all of them got weapons. So this is how easy it is. Put it like this. They can't force a race war upon us, but they have to manufacture consent. They have to basically manipulate us all, blacks, whites, Hispanics, everybody in this country. They have to manipulate us into a race war. And this is why you see them showing us as black people being murdered like we are being murdered in the streets, bruh. It ain't like the media gives a fuck about black people. Come on, man, they been knowing. They knew about police brutality. If nothing else, they knew about that shit doing Rodney King. So they cannot act like they just now shocked and surprised and appalled that black people are getting killed by the police, because all these years, man, the media, mainstream media, has been complicit and silent. Why all of a sudden now, they want to act like they just now finding out that black people are being persecuted and murdered by the police. There's an agenda behind all this. So we're going to talk about that, excuse me, a little bit later on today on YouTube. It's a couple of more. It's R. Kelly. We want to talk about R. Kelly. Y'all realize, and again, we have to separate our emotions from the facts. Okay, yeah, we realize R. Kelly, Mr. PP, man, is a pedophile. But he's not the only one. Who you think he learned this shit from? Terry Doe, you said armed blacks and white militias are going to be in Kentucky tomorrow. Shit might pop off. Exactly. Why is it popping off now? Think about it. Black people have been protesting for civil rights, equality, injustices against systemic racism. We have been protesting for the last half a century. But why all of a sudden now these protests are getting violent? Because again, the media is showing you the rioting and the looting in order to get the other side hyped up and say, well, we got to stop this rioting and looting. Hence, Kyle Red Riding Hood, little white boy that shot 3 people. He was there because your media is pushing this shit up, bruh. They're literally acting as if they're shocked and surprised that there's a such thing called police brutality, when the media was the ones who showed us Rodney King getting the shit whooped out of him on national TV. But they are now trying to push an agenda, and I'm going to be real. This agenda that the media is pushing helps the Democrats in election. I'm going to go as far as to say that all this shit really about votes, bruh. That's really what it is about. The Democrats do not have a platform. The Democrats don't have nothing that they can tell us as black folks that they're really going to do to stop the systemic oppression of black people. Think about it. You got 2 motherfuckers on the Democratic ticket. Joe Biden, who helped write the crime reform bill with Bill Clinton, which sent black people to jail in record numbers under the 3-strike law. Kamala Harris, who is not black and who used her time as Attorney General and top prosecutor to prosecute black people. You got 2 people running in the Democrat that champions law enforcement. But you don't hear about that shit in the mainstream media. Does anybody realize when Joe Biden helped write the crime reform bill to help Bill Clinton, and I think it was in 96 or whatever, but he said the only thing that ain't in this bill, well, we can hang these niggas. Joe Biden is just the biggest racist as fucking Donald Trump. But you don't hear about that in the news. Joe Biden helped craft the crime reform bill, which is responsible for the explosion of the private prison industrial complex. Yeah, Joe Biden. And he brags about this. How many Negroes know this? None, because you don't hear about this in the mainstream media. Joe Biden helped Hillary and Bill Clinton craft the crime reform bill that starts sending black men and women to prison in wholesale numbers and created the 3-strike law. Yeah, he's a fucking racist. Kamala Harris is a police who was responsible. This woman here gets on the Breakfast Club bragging about smoking weed And at the same time, she's locking people up in Los Angeles County or San Francisco, wherever she was, for smoking weed. Do y'all realize we're living in a cartoon? Because neither one of the parties really gives a fuck about black people. There is an illusion of a choice. But in that illusion, you have to realize it's just that, an illusion, because your Democrats and your Republicans work for the private prison industry. They work for the military-industrial complex. They work for the pharmaceutical companies who's going to try to push an unsafe vaccine on the American people. And do y'all realize if Trump is the president, when they do come out with this vaccine, who's going to be the ones responsible for initiating and making sure the vaccine is properly distributed in America? Your military. Do y'all realize that Donald Trump has already gave the military the green light to pretty much go door to door? Oh, this shit sound crazy, but it's facts. Go back and do your research. Donald Trump has basically said when we come up with a vaccine, it's going to be mandatory that everybody in America take it. And in order to force the mandatory vaccination, they're going to use the military. Do you realize by them trying to force you to wear a mask, by them locking things down, do you realize you're under medical martial law right now? So when they put out this poison-ass vaccine, everybody is going to have to take this vaccine at the point of a gun from the United States military. Who's going to profit? Your pharmaceutical companies. So your government, Republicans and Democrats, care nothing about us, the citizens. They work for the corporations, man. Man, I won't even intend to do this video that long. I'm glad that Brother Terry and Sister Lisa, that you all contributed to this video with your comments. Check us out on YouTube, because again, Facebook and YouTube are heavily censoring us. If y'all go to YouTube, you'll see my subscribers be like, man, it'll be almost 24 hours before they get a notification that I've done a video. And then when I release or upload a video on YouTube, they're asking my subscribers, do you really want to report this video? Because he might be saying some stuff that we on YouTube, we really can't, we can't erase his video, but we want to know if you are uncomfortable with this. Y'all think that's bullshit? Think about what Facebook is doing right now. For this upcoming election, it's all over the news. Facebook is going to censor your political posts. Any post that you submit to Facebook, a post on Facebook that has a questionable political theme in Facebook's mind, they're going to slow your traffic down. Plus, they're going to block your video. Look how they're already doing it now. They're fact-checking everything. Who the fuck is doing the fact-checking? And where do they get their facts from? We're living in a manufactured dream, y'all, where we think we have a two-party system, but it's all an illusion. And both parties right now, because Joe Biden is blaming Trump for the violence, Trump is blaming the Democrats for the violence. They're both complicit in the violence. Now, the whole thing, what they're trying to see is who's going to be able to capitalize it and get their voter base to vote for them because of all this chaos and anarchy in the middle of the streets here in America. Man, there's so much we're going to talk about on this video day. We're going to talk about R. Kelly because, again, R. Kelly just got the shit whooped out of him yesterday, or day before yesterday, in a federal prison. And the feds are basically finna hang R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? R. Kelly had the money to bond out. Why they didn't let him bond out when Harvey Weinstein was able to bond out? Kevin Spacey then killed 3 people who accused him of sexual misconduct and ain't did a day in jail. Good morning, Miss Demetra. How you doing? Kevin Spacey has basically been implicated in 3 murders of 3 people who accused him of sexual misconduct. Hell, Charlie Sheen, is well known that Charlie Sheen is running around here spreading HIV. And he has not did 1 day in jail. But R. Kelly is in a federal penitentiary. And the guards in the penitentiary, if you ever been to the pen, you know how shit go. The guards are literally trying to set R. Kelly up. R. Kelly done got whooped 2 or 3 times in that federal penitentiary. To the point, don't be surprised, over the next 2 or 3 weeks, the judge in his case allows him to make bond. Because they're literally sending people to try to rape R. Kelly. We all know how it go when you've been to the pen, when you go to the pen. Child molesters and rapists don't stand a chance. Well, R. Kelly is a prime target. And he's being set up by the staff at the prison that he's in to be raped, to be beaten. You know what they're saying right now? R. Kelly is causing so much chaos because the people are outside the jail and the courthouse where he's being held in prison and where he's scheduled to go to trial. So many people out there, they had to lock the prison down just because of R. Kelly. Come on, man, that shit don't even sound right. So they're saying they had to lock the prison down because R. Kelly is drawing too many protesters outside the prison. And at the same time, they're leaving his cell open so inmates can go in and attempt to rape him. He just got beat up the other day. I mean, come on, man, this shit's crazy. When you look at reality. Now I'm gonna get ready to end this video, man, because again, it's 4-something in the morning. I wasn't even intending on doing this video. But most of our videos, when we do them on Facebook, they're going to be here on the Real News Behind the News page, not my personal page. Most of our videos, if you really want to see the in-depth content, check us out on YouTube, and the link is in the description section. Today we're going to be talking, today around about 6 o'clock p.m. on YouTube, the Real News Behind the News YouTube, we're going to be talking about Kyle Reddinghouse. We're going to talk about the 2 brothers who just recently it's come out that 2 more black men have been murdered by the police across America. We're going to talk about a couple of other issues, but most importantly, we're going to bring y'all unbiased opinion. I'm not always right, but I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Christian, Muslim, or Jew. I'm not a pro-life or anti-life. I'm not one of these people who subscribe to any sort of clique. Because once you align yourself with any party or any affiliation, you become part of the problem because you have aligned yourself and created tribalism and division. And while we're fighting and killing each other, your politicians, your Nancy Pelosi's, your Mitch McConnell's, your Donald Trump's, your Joe Biden's, all these people are capitalizing off the division amongst us as the people because we're too busy fighting each other to pay attention to their criminal activities. So y'all stay tuned. Be looking for the notification. We're gonna go hard in the paint on YouTube today on these subjects. Please go to YouTube, man. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Most important, hit the subscribe button and hit that bell so that you can get notification. And hopefully you all will get the notification because we're being told by half of our subscribers that they are being unsubscribed from our YouTube channel by YouTube. Plus, YouTube is not notifying them when we do our videos. You know, hey, I guess we're doing something right because YouTube treating us like a red-headed stepchild with herpes or HIV or something. They don't want you to hear an alternative point of view. This is why even Facebook don't want you to hear an alternative point of view. Facebook just wants you to hear the brainwashed government narrative of these stories that you see on the national news. But here at the Real News Behind News, we challenge you to think and ask questions. So y'all join us on YouTube this evening. Again, hit the subscribe button. Once you hit the link, it'll take you to the channel. Hit the subscribe button. Until y'all see me on YouTube this evening, first of all, I want to thank Brother Terry, Sister Demetra, and Sister Lisa for leaving your comments. Your comments are really the most important part of this video because it helps keep the dialogue going. So y'all stay tuned. We're going to come back a little bit later on, a couple more hours with another video from Facebook. But the real video, y'all check us out on YouTube today, September 4th, 2020 at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to go hard in the paint. Till y'all see me.